Do you ever wake up in the morning and feel like life is too much before the day has even begun? Not physically tired, but mentally heavy, as if your mind is wrapped in fog, your spirit running on half automatic, your inner world flat and grey, and though nothing is actually wrong, you look at the day ahead and it just feels like a mountain. Every small task, a weight on the chest, routine becomes a cage, and the thought of, oh, again, drains the life out of your bones. But here's the thing, once you start, you can actually do it. Once the machine is moving, you function, and sometimes even well. Hornbeam is for that moment before the beginning, when the soul hesitates and the mind whispers, I don't think I have the strength. What if there was a flower that could bring back freshness, mental clarity, and the subtle joy of being awake to your own life again? There is. And this is the story of Hornbeam. Hi, I'm Michelle. I help spiritually sensitive people understand their emotions through the gentle language of Bach Flower Remedies. If that interests you, please subscribe or join my online course, Bloom into Balance, and all the links are in the description. I've seen Hornbeam change so many lives, not dramatically, not loudly, but softly. Like a cool morning breeze sweeping a tired mind awake again. So let's explore this very underestimated remedy together. Who is Hornbeam for? Hornbeam is for mental exhaustion before the day begins. No body fatigue, but head fatigue. For people who feel stuck in routine, overwhelmed before starting, foggy, heavy, uninspired, as if life has become an endless Monday morning, as though the smallest tasks feels like too much. Mentally paralyzed, even though physically they are fine. And these people often live in a kind of half-automatic mode, drowning in sameness, overstimulated by passive activities like TV and screens and mental input. Yet understimulated in their soul. They often believe, I don't have enough strength to begin, even though in reality they do. And once they start, their energy usually flows. But the start feels impossible. And this state can be temporary when you're overstudying, or maybe you have a burnout or you have routine fatigue. But it can also be chronic, long-term monotony, too much mental load, long illness, bad rest, this kind of stuff. And Hornbeam is the remedy for the soul that has grown dull under too much predictability and too little inspiration. So what does Hornbeam do? What does it do? What does it do? Hornbeam brings freshness to the mind. It lifts the fog, it restores the feeling of I can, and renews faith in one's own inner strength. It balances the mental energy field so that energy can flow again between the different layers of the self. Hornbeam is like a refreshing shower for your ability to begin. After Hornbeam, you just feel that tasks simply feel lighter. Your inspiration returns, clarity increases, the mind wakes up. Routine feels less suffocating, energy starts circulating again, and people suddenly rediscover their backbone, their inner elasticity, and their sense of capability. The Hornbeam archetype is the weary mind, the one who lives too much in the head, overloaded by mental impressions, but undernourished in the soul. And this archetype is not lazy at all, it is mentally saturated. In its wounded form, it avoids beginnings, procrastinates, feels dull, and fears the start. In its transformed form, Hornbeam becomes the fresh spirit, awake, clear, flexible, ready to engage with life again, not driven by pressure, but guided by inner responsiveness. Some good pairings here are gentian when discouragement and doubt add to the mental heaviness, or chestnut bud when routine loops, repeats, and learning doesn't integrate. White chestnut when mental tiredness comes from an overactive mind, and olive if mental fatigue is accompanied by true physical exhaustion. On the emotional level, Hornbeam works with Monday morning heaviness, with resistance to starting, with dullness, grayness, lack of inspiration, the inner belief I don't have the strength, overstimulation from too many passive impressions, and under-inspiration from a lack of meaningful engagement. It restores the feeling of inner movement, like opening a window in a stuffy room. On the transformational level, Hornbeam breaks the hypnotic grip of routine. It rebalances the mental and emotional bodies. It also reawakens responsiveness instead of automation. It encourages spontaneous impulses and creativity. It helps the soul reclaim its capacity for renewal. The Hornbeam person learns, I am capable, I have enough, I can begin. And once that truth returns, life opens again. Spiritually, Hornbeam connects the person to the impulses of the higher self. In the negative state, the soul becomes spiritually deaf, stuck in habitual patterns, resistant to inner guidance, and closed off from the renewing power of inspiration. The personality settles into comfort, automation, and materialistic self-limitation. Hornbeam reawakens the inner ear and sharpens the inner eye, so the person can once again hear and feel the subtle movements of inspiration. The result here is a restored flow between activity and rest, between doing and being, between mind and soul. And Hornbeam, it reminds us that inner vitality does not come from caffeine, pressure, or habit, but from alignment with our deeper self. People needing Hornbeam may experience feeling mentally paralyzed or having a very heavy head and mental fog. Sometimes they feel a burning or a pressure behind the eyes, or they are very tired in the morning even after rest. They are dreading the start of the week and they believe that they just don't have the energy, even though they do. They also need stimulants to function. They live on autopilot. Routine becomes very suffocating. They're losing the joy in daily tasks. But they do revive instantly when given a new task or a new environment or a new stimulation, almost as if waking up from a sleep. Just that can be already so helpful for a Hornbeam person. So what can you do separate from Bach Flower Remedies to support Hornbeam? Break the routine, add small unexpected changes, engage the body without performance pressure, change the environment even briefly. And follow spontaneous impulses. Allow yourself to do things differently. Seek inspiration instead of repetition. And sometimes, yes, that means changing your job, your work position, the company. Hornbeam thrives on renewal. If you feel mentally exhausted, uninspired, or stuck in a life lived on autopilot, Hornbeam may be calling your name. If you want to go deeper into the emotional and spiritual wisdom of the Bach flowers, I invite you to download my free beginner's guide, to book a consultation, or explore my full course Bloom into Balance, where I teach you how to understand, choose, and work with the remedies on every level: emotional, transformational, and spiritual. This journey is about remembering your capacity for renewal, and Hornbeam is here to help you begin. If you feel overwhelmed, check my next video right here. I loved making this video. Thanks for being here and see you in the next one.